Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Money Mindset Meditation Podcast. I am so happy that you guys are here, and this is the first time for me. So I am recording for YouTube and I'm recording for the show. I feel like it's been such a long time coming. Everyone was like, "When are you recording for the show? When are you gonna make the video recordings?" I'm like, "It's coming, it's coming, it's coming." Today's the day. We got the light, we got the camera set up, we got the laptop set up. So finally, I feel like I'm always like, I wish you guys could see me. Well, now you can. I'm going to link the YouTube video below when we post this. It might come a few days later, but I'll link it to my YouTube so that you're able to subscribe, and then you'll always be able to catch the YouTube video. So before we get into today's episode, I have something so excited to tell you guys. I cannot wait. Okay, so I've never done this before, but a lot of people ask me, like, how do your healings work? How do you actually rewire in the subconscious mind? They have a lot of questions around what is the experience like? What are we doing? Okay. And I always redirect them to my app. And obviously in the app, in the Higher Self app, it's where all my clearings are, where you can get to the root cause and rewrite your story. And something that came to me in a download was like, I would love to do a live healing with all of you. So what I do one-to-one with my clients, I can do in a group setting around specific fears. And I polled the audience or my community, and everyone, the most common fear was the fear of never having enough money. There's never enough. There's never going to be enough. There's always like scarcity energy around money. So I decided, wow, okay, let's do a group clearing. I know how to clear that belief on a subconscious level so that you no longer experience that fear. So you no longer have that anxiety. I used to have that anxiety every month. I do not exist with that fear anymore. And I'm telling you, that level of freedom is phenomenal. So I'm inviting you to join me. It's only $22 and you will get invited and you will be able to join us live, and I will walk you through how to clear this belief on a subconscious level, and it's going to change your life. I'm so excited. So the link to join is below, and if you're unable to make it live, do not worry. The effectiveness of the healing does not matter if you're watching it live or in a replay. Just like if you were to go and do a meditation, to do the meditation live or in a replay does not matter. You will still get the same result. You will get the result no matter what. So if you're unable to make it live, don't worry, just join. You will get the replay and you will be able to experience, maybe for the first time, subconscious healing, but definitely for the first time, my method. So I'm so excited. I've never done this before and I cannot wait. So link is to join below, and I would love to see you there. It's going to be the best. Okay, let's get into this week's topic. So I want to talk, this is coming to mind and I just want to share this. Since I have decided to film to film the podcast, it's taking a lot more effort in terms of production and producing, etc. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to maintain 2 episodes a week. I'm going to do my best, but I'm not going to force things out of obligation. I'm only going to do things that feel aligned and excited to do. So we're going to see. But I think maybe it might look like one is filmed, one is recorded. I don't know. But I just don't want to set the standard that I'm going to have 2 filmed episodes a week. I know that I probably won't have the capacity for that, but I'm not holding myself to anything that might not feel good or feels forced. So I'm just throwing that out there that things might look slightly different moving forward. But who knows? I don't want to set any promises. We're just going to see how we roll. Obviously, of course, there's always going to be 1 episode a week, and it will be filmed. It's going to be on YouTube. Of course, I will promise that. The next episode is something that I have to think on, but I don't want to make false promises. So just putting that out there. Okay, now let's get into the episode. So we are going to talk about how to change your identity. Okay, if you want to change your life, you have to change your identity. Your identity is how you see yourself. And you can never out-manifest your identity. You cannot change your reality without changing your identity. They go one in one. They are one and the same. Okay? So your identity are created of your beliefs about yourself. Okay? So whatever you identify as, you become. Okay, so this can work in a really positive way or it can work in a really negative way. So if you identify as someone who is always in overdraft, if you identify as someone who always attracts negative men, if you identify as someone who is always in DEBT, then you will become that inevitably, naturally, without fail. However, if you identify as a high value person, if you identify with someone who things always go their way, we heard this, like, such a famous thing was the lucky girl syndrome. If you identify as a lucky girl, if you identify as someone who always gets the best parking spot, if you identify with someone who always attracts the best people, if you identify as someone who is always succeeding, you inevitably, naturally will become that. And you don't even have to try, because you manifest who you are. You attract who you believe you are, and you can never out-manifest your self-concept, okay? And something that is so fascinating is that you can have an identity about yourself, and other people around you can have a different identity of you. So I really got this mirrored to me when I was in LA a couple months ago, and I was meeting my community for like pretty much like the first time, like meeting all these people, and how they perceive me, I realized, holy fuck, I need to have a serious identity shift, because I realized I don't perceive myself in the way others perceive me, and I need to raise my level of self-concept, okay? And when I think back to my manifestation process and my journey, a lot of the success has come through changing my identity, changing my belief system about me, changing what I am willing to accept and what is my normal and what is my baseline. Because when you change your baseline, you change your life. When you change your belief systems, you change your life. And your baseline is your belief system, is your comfort zone with everything, with your body, with your relationships, with your bank account. Whatever is your normal, you will continue to manifest. Because anything that isn't normal, anything that is new, is a threat, okay? And things like having a great body, having a great bank account, having a great relationship, those can all be threats subconsciously, okay? So in order to change your reality, you have to change your beliefs, okay? The beliefs about yourself. We can talk about everything, but today we're talking about your identity. So just below me, I have my notebook, and I actually have 9 tips to change your identity. Okay, so tip number 1 is establish who you want to become. Who is that version of you, that girl that's absolutely fucking killing it? How does she operate? What does she do? How does she eat? How does she talk about money? How does she walk into a room? How do they operate? Okay, and I want you to make a list on a piece of paper. Okay, so you can have an identity. I used to call myself Millionaire Marley for the version of me that was manifesting the identity of being a millionaire. And now that I have surpassed that, I am now focusing on Billionaire Marley. How does Billionaire Marley operate? And the more you operate from that identity, the faster and quicker you become that identity. Okay, and the more you operate from the version of you who you don't want to be, the more you will continue to manifest that version of you. Okay, so Billionaire Marley, how does she operate? Number 1, what standards does she set for herself? How is she with boundaries? How is she in her relationship? What does she wear? Like, what type of travel does she book? And I want you to make a whole list, okay? So this is like homework. This is we're jumping right in, okay? Number 1, okay. Then number 2, column 2 is all about how are you currently? And you have to be brutally honest, and no one has to see this piece of paper, okay? You can literally burn it after. So write down who you currently are. How do you show up in your relationship? How are you in business? What are your beliefs about yourself? What do you believe to be true currently? Okay? Have a little brainstorm. Literally write until you can no longer write. Then what you're going to do, and this is the key, is you are going to look, okay, where am I currently? And where do I want to go? And where is the disconnect? So where is there an opportunity for me to change? What are the steps for me to get from where I am currently from where I want to go? So maybe you feel currently unconfident in your finances. And billionaire Marley feels fucking cool as a cucumber in her finances. Okay, what do I need to do? Maybe I need to read a book about money. Maybe I need to learn from someone that I see that is embodying that. Someone who I know who's living like that. How can I learn from them? Okay? And I want you to take the action steps to get from where you are to where you want to go. And from that, you can make a list of action steps. Okay? So joining a gym, joining a tennis club, choosing to eat health, like join a meal prep service, like whatever are the steps that are going to get you from where you are to where you're going to be is massive. Because the more you operate from that version, the more and the quicker and the faster you become that version. Okay? So I could pretty much end the podcast right here because that is all you need to know. That is all you need to do. And that's how you become who you are. Okay? And something that is really cool is that you can look to others where you feel triggered and envious, and they're mirroring to you something that you are meant to become and you want to be and you desire to be, but you haven't yet stepped into that. So maybe you really envy the way someone shows up in business. That is showing to you a possibility in an area where your soul wants to level the fuck up. And they're just mirroring to you where you currently aren't stepping into your potential. So anytime you see someone else that you're looking at and they trigger you, yay, make a note and say, okay, what about them am I envious of? And write down, what are the qualities that they have that I wish that I had? Okay, how can you become that? How can you become that? And if it's not yet clear, it will become clear because you've set the intention in motion that you want to become this person. And I would even like rip off the old piece of paper that is currently you and just keep this version of you. And every day you can, with Askfirmations, affirm it. So how am I so confident today? How am I so neutral with my bank account? How am I making $100,000 a month? Why am I so happy every day? Why is my skin so clear? Why am I so in love with my body, right? And I've made a whole episode about how to create Askfirmations. I can leave it in the show notes below. I wish I had a little pen with me, but I'm live now, so I can't pause the video, but I will remember. Marley, remember, put Askfirmations in the show notes. And by using these two tools, I promise you, you will become her, him, they, whoever you want to be, you will become them inevitably, naturally. Just like imagine pulling a buoy underwater and adding bricks to it. When you remove the bricks, the buoy doesn't just stay where it is, it naturally floats. So when you start to remove the limiting beliefs that you are currently added to yourself and the things that are holding you down and keeping you stuck, when you remove those, you naturally rise. You naturally become the version that you want to be. That's how you naturally, inevitably, organically change your identity. So that's all I need to tell you, but I'm going to keep going. That was step 1. Okay, step number 2 is to eliminate anything that doesn't resonate with you. Anything that doesn't resonate with millionaire, billionaire Marley, okay? So I often will go through my closet and I literally energetically will be like, nope. Any clothing piece that doesn't embody the new version of me, I will just get rid of. And sometimes that looks like there's like literally nothing in my closet, but I will not wear something that isn't in alignment with who I want to become. So I'm clearing my closet all the time. I'm clearing my shoes. I'm clearing anything in my life that is not resonant with who I desire to be. And I don't mean in a harsh way, like get rid of everything, but maybe there's a chance to distance. Maybe there's a chance to eliminate. It's like maybe there's a chance to delegate. So like I love this saying, which is like delete, delegate, automate. This is another homework thing. How can you delete, delegate, and automate anything in your life that isn't in resonance of the identity that you want to become? Okay, so maybe there's some habits, maybe there's some late night snacking, maybe there is some doubt, maybe there is some things, bricks that are holding you back to that old identity that need to be let go of so that you can naturally rise. Okay, tip number 3 is baby steps. And thank you past me because perfect next step. Again, I don't want people to get overwhelmed of like, oh my gosh, okay, now I have to do this whole new workout regime and eating regime and fitness regime and mindset regime. No, it's going to be way too much. And it's going to be like sitting at the bottom of the Himalayan mountains, looking at the top and being like, no, that looks like a lot of fucking effort. Nah. So what I'm going to suggest is that you take one tip at a time, one change at a time, and until it feels like a natural habit, move on. Do not try to do it all at once because you will fail. It's too much. It's too much for your nervous system. It's too much change. Remember, change is not normal. Change is a threat, and you will naturally try to avoid change. Okay, so let's work with your brain. Let's use your brain and let's use its magic power, and let's go in a way that feels normal, in a way that feels good. Okay? So take baby steps. Number 4 is I want you to speak as them. Speak, embody, move, make decisions in a way that already embodies them. Live as if. Okay? So if you want to be out of DEBT, don't talk about it anymore. Speak in the way that you want to speak. I am working towards becoming financially free. I am financially free. I am making the proper steps and taking the proper action steps to become financially free. Speak, embody, be them. Okay? Be them. Don't be, if you continue to be the version and act in the way of the older version, then you'll continue to be that version. The only person that's going to make the change is you. No one around you has enough power over you to change you unless you let them. But the thing is, that can work in both a positive and negative way. People around you can inspire you to change, but the only one that can make the change is you. You're the only one that's in control of cause and effect of your life. So you create the cause to allow the effect. Okay? So when you speak, words are spells. If you want to change your life, change your language. Change the way that you speak. Speak in the way. Like when I was first starting my first business, when people are like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I am an entrepreneur. I had a side hustle that was making a little bit of money. Well, I still was serving in the evenings and I was part-time at a school. But when people asked me what I did, I spoke as if. I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I have my own business. Da, 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 da. And that's what I became. I became that because I spoke as if it already was, okay? And when I'm talking to my boyfriend, I'm like, oh, one day we're going to be on this yacht and one day we're going to stay here and we're going to do this and we're going to do that and the app is at this, and like that's how I'm speaking all the time. You can ask him. So it's like, speak your desires. Speak as if they're in motion. Speak them as they are already. I can't wait for my TED Talk. I can't wait to be on this podcast. I can't wait. That's what I'm focused on, and that's what I inevitably attract. And it is not because I'm lucky. It's just using the law of affirmation. Sorry, the law of attraction. That's how it works. So speak it into existence. Okay, words are spells. Okay, tip number 4 is to embrace people's view of you. Okay, so whenever people give you compliments or see you in a light that you don't yet see for yourself, actually take a moment to absorb it. Don't fluff it off. Don't flick it away. Don't say, oh yeah, whatever. And I'm going to give you examples. So personal example. So when I was in LA, it was so strange because I met like 5 new people because I had 5 VIP days. And all 5 of them, when they met me, they're like, oh my God, I feel like I'm meeting a celebrity. And I was like, oh, haha. And I just let it like wash off me. But I was talking to my mentor about this. She's like, how often do you actually sit and like view the messages that people send you and really like absorb it in? And I was like, oh my gosh, like 0. I read the messages. I let it like sink in for maybe 2 seconds. It's like a coping. For some reason, my brain doesn't allow me to like receive that because it feels like maybe I don't deserve it. I don't know what it is yet. I'm working on that right now. And so my view is like to absorb my reality. And I know it sounds like such a weird tip, but if you get it, you'll get it. Like right now, I live in a home that is like truly the most beautiful home I've ever lived in, and it's so magical to me. And I always downplay it. I'm always like, oh yeah, whatever. I almost don't even let myself enjoy it because it's almost like overwhelming. So this past like couple weeks, I've been like really just like every morning waking up like, thank you. And I look around this house, I'm like, this is my home. This is my home. This is my home. It's like, it's so crazy to me. And as I absorb it, it feels more real. And I identify as this person now. I identify a person that lives in this type of home, that lives in this neighborhood. Like, I now embrace it instead of hide from it. I used to hide from it, and like, I live in a road that is like this certain, it's like a very specific, unique road in South Africa. Everyone knows this road. And I would never tell people. I'd feel like ashamed of telling people on the road that I live on. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. But I now am like, yes, this is where I live. And I really identify with it and embody it. And it's like such a silly example, but embrace who you are. Embrace the identity that you've created for your life and acknowledge it. Okay. And really also when people give you compliments or people reach out to you and people say thank you and receive it and marinate in it and feel it. Okay. Because when you start to feel it and once you start to connect to it, you become it. Okay. Tip number 6 is every morning. Again, I'm giving you guys lots of homework, but it's like all like very powerful tools. Okay. Every morning, I want you to sit in visualization. And if you're doing my money challenge right now, you are doing this every day already. So I want you to visualize the version of you, this identity, millionaire Marley, billionaire Marley, whatever version of you. And I want you to visualize as them. Okay. So it's like, I'm like sitting like, okay, I see myself. It's actually crazy. I actually for so long would visualize myself driving in LA on the way to a podcast interview, it like financially free in Malibu. And that actually happened when I was in LA. If you saw that video of mine, I was literally in LA. I was like cloud 9 driving down Sunset Boulevard, and I didn't know I was on Sunset Boulevard. But I got rerouted to that road, and I think I shared this story on the podcast. I can't remember, but my dad used to live on Sunset Boulevard for like 5 years. He moved to LA, and I didn't know I was on Sunset Boulevard, but I was like having this moment of like, holy fuck, like life is so fucking good. Life got so good. I really created this life that I've always dreamed of. And then like I looked up and I was on Sunset Boulevard. I started like bawling my eyes out because I was like, I know my dad like redirected me there to be like, look, like I got you, like I'm here for you, and look at this life like we've created together. Because I like my dad is my fucking guardian angel of all angels. And it was the most beautiful moment for me. But I also, like, it was so overwhelming because I was like, this is what I've been dreaming of my whole life. Like, since I was young. Like, living at home, even, like, 7 or 8, I dreamed of, like, moving to LA and living this life. And it was just, like, holy fuck, overwhelming. So, don't sleep on the power of visualization is all I have to say. And if you can't visualize or if that doesn't resonate, you can also do like future self journaling, or also called as like scripting, which is every morning writing down your future vision as if it's already real. So for me, it's like, okay, I'm traveling the world, I'm getting invited on stages, I'm just wrote a New York Times bestseller. Like visualizing that and running, what's your ideal day? What's your dream day? And running through that every single day. And when you do that, you actually, you turn on your reticular activating cortex, okay? And then you can use that to your advantage. So your brain will start to look for situations, opportunities, notice things that will set you in that direction, okay? So those are 2 very powerful tools. Tip number 7 is to clear any blocks that you have to that new identity. So on a scientific level, there could be actually a subconscious threat to you becoming that version of you. So a very common one is that, like, if I become that identity, then I'm going to intimidate my parents and then they won't love me anymore. They won't support me anymore. You will lose a part of your tribe by changing. This is a very common one. It isn't the only one, but it's very common. So using the Higher Self app, you can go in and identify what is the hidden advantage. So what is the hidden advantage of me not getting to that new identity? Who am I scared to lose? What am I scared to lose? What responsibilities am I going to have to take on if I become that new identity? And you're going to journal that out. And once you establish what the fear is, so maybe it's the fear that I'm going to lose my mom, or maybe my sister's going to judge me, or maybe my boyfriend's not going to want to be with me anymore, whatever it may be, It could actually be something completely different. It's different for everyone. Then you use the Higher Self app, so you can go into limiting belief clearing section, and either it might be there already, or just do the track called clear any limiting belief, and you can clear on a subconscious level and enjoy your new identity. Okay, tip number 6 is to be expanded by others. Allow others to show you that your identity is possible. So your brain needs to see to believe. So what helped me really on in my journey actually is that like I really wanted to become this digital nomad, working online, be able to work anywhere from the world. But I'm from like this really small town. I didn't know anyone doing that. So I actually went to Instagram to be like, okay, who else is doing this? And can they prove to me that I can do it too? Now, don't look to the Kardashians. Don't look to anyone who you don't resonate with their story. But for a huge expander for me, let's put into example, is Melanie and Lair. So she's a huge expander for me. She was actually on the podcast, and she like was literally living out of her car, and now she makes plus like $22 million a year. So I'm like, if she can do it, I can do it. And it's like, I want you to find people in your life that show you what is possible. Show you that this version of you that you want to become is possible. Find people that changed their life, that went from A to B, that changed on a fundamental level in the way that you want to. And your brain will be like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. But it has to be someone that actually makes you think that you can do it. For example, I'm not looking at Kylie Jenner if being like, well, if she can build a billionaire business, I can, because she is a Kardashian. She was given probably millions of dollars to seed fund her businesses, okay? I don't have that. So I'm looking to someone who has humble beginnings, who started with nothing, and if they can do it, I can do it. So find someone that you resonate with. That's the most important thing, okay? And finally, tip number 9 is to adjust your thoughts in accordance with your new identity. So think how you want to become. And this is probably the hardest one because your thoughts are automatic and subconscious. So you're very rarely aware of these thoughts that are going on all the time. But now that you've listened to this episode, you're going to start becoming, what thoughts do I have that aren't in alignment with who I want to become? What thoughts do I have about myself, about others, about this new identity, about money, about having a good body? Notice your thoughts or whatever you're focused on manifesting. Okay, I'm just saying things that people usually come to me on. Notice what you desire and notice your thoughts that are incongruent with that desire. Something that might be limited or something that might be negative or why you can't have that thing. Okay, and those are A, beliefs that you can clear on a subconscious level, or B, naturally notice the thought and change it. So if you notice that you're constantly anxious about money, it's like, well, and I've shared this on the podcast before, but it's like, this is a light that you just get to turn off. So just like you can turn lights on and off, you can turn thoughts on and off. Okay? So if you notice a thought that is occurring over and over that you no longer want to believe, consciously, it's difficult because you've created neural pathways for it, consciously flip the thought. What is the opposite positive thought that you do want to believe? And focus on that. When you focus on that, and you change your thoughts, you change your reality. I'm not the first one to say that. Okay. Oh my God, it's my first, I'm done. It's my first video podcast. Woo! I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope you guys enjoy the video footage. I am so excited for this like new era, this new level, this new identity. Okay, as I'm stepping into this new identity, I'm teaching you guys how to do the same, because when you change your identity, you change your life. Okay, I love you guys so much. Forehead kiss. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe, review, leave a comment. And if you know anyone who is on the path to healing their identity, changing their identity, becoming the best version of themselves, thinking big, send them this episode. It could just change their life. Okay? I love you guys. Have the best rest of your day, and we'll talk very soon, okay?